reminder that we are limited on time,
which is good
for this episode.
Which is good.
How long are we limited to?
For about 40 minutes.
Great.
That's perfect. That's how long we need to go anyway.
Yeah, perfect.
If you're hitting the big bike or the audio,
it's already
song, the intro song.
I'm hitting it now.
We're at like 38 minutes.
I'm hitting it now. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hello and welcome into the Section 109 podcast. The man sitting next to me is much better looking than the man who's normally sitting next to me from Studio Breezy. It's the Section 109 podcast with Jay.
Hey man, how's it going?
And guess who else is on the line?
Matthew.
Say what's up, Matthew.
What's up? How are we doing?
Doing good. I'm kind of jealous of you being at a bachelor party and just, getting to drink and be a debaucherous human being for a few days.
This is a work trip, right?
No, in my mind, you're at a bachelor party.
They can be the same thing.
Yeah, I forgot.
It's definitely not.
I got that confused. I thought this was a bachelor party. Well, either way, he doesn't have a real job, so I'm pretty sure this is still just straight debauchery. But Matthew, debauchery might be a good way to describe what we did to the last two teams we played in LA Force and Michigan Stars. Boys,
it might have been debaucherous, but we weren't the drunk ones.
That is true. That is true. So before we get into some details, I want a little heat check. How we feeling? Jay, you go first.
Well, I was one of the drunk ones. Sorry, Matthew. But no, I'm feeling awesome, man. First off, I'll kind of talk about the two games very fast.
Sure.
And then we can dive in or whatever. But when it comes to the LA Force match, California teams always seem to be something that it was aimed directly at our Achilles as a club. So to go out and beat LA Force 3-0 felt really good. It felt like sort of a weight off of the shoulders. And then, fuck the Michigan Stars.
Absolutely. Could not sum it up better myself, to be honest. Matthew, how you feeling?
Really good. That was, LA is always going to be a little bit up and down. That's just kind of how they are. They've got players in, players out, and whatnot. But there's been no bigger kryptonite to how Rod Underwood wants to play with CFC than the Michigan Stars. And they've been just a nemesis of ours really ever since the Members Cup in 2019.
Yeah.
It was a big game, not in terms of the table, honestly, although they were undefeated at the time with about 18 games in hand.
I was about to give some other huge number as well.
Yeah.
Just to have to grow, confidence for the team. Obviously Ibarra coming into the squad, but the guy's getting better in terms of being more patient, that we'll talk about a little bit later.
Definitely.
It was a really, really big match for taking another step of doing things our way.
Yeah, for sure.
And the boys rose to the occasion. And I feel pretty good. Like we're halfway through this incredibly short fucking season. And you got to like where we sit right now.
We're only halfway through. Not that it feels like it's been that long, Jay, but I feel like, I don't know. I just 6 home games left. You said that the other day, Matt, and that feels so short. But I guess we have 6 home and 6 away, right? Yeah, for 20.
Well, I think it's 5 now.
5 home games.
5 home games now.
Man,
that includes the Independent Cup and the Apotheos game.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so we're at a lot more road games here to end it. Well, let me go over the starting lineups and let's get into detail, starting with the Los Angeles Force, who we played first. Fuck Bob Freeland in the Force, if haven't already said that. Goalkeeper, Jean-Antoine. Right back, Colin Stripling. Right center back, Sebastian Capozzucci. Had a little injury and rest concern for Prepelica, which was terrifying, and it ended up being no big deal because Sebastian was great. Aiden Bowers at left center back, left back Joseph Perez, and the 6 Richard Dixon. Very much the starting back 6 that we've had, including the goalkeeper for a while, except for that one Sebastian change there. Alex McGrath and Beto at the 2 8/10s. Right winger Mutai Muape, left winger Juan Louis, and then spoiler alert, Jesus Ibarra got his debut in the 64th minute, and striker Marcus Nagelstad up top. I will mention there were 3 substitutes. Damian Rodriguez in the 84th.
Good to see Damian come in.
Great to see Damian come in, and he looked lively and good. Juan Louis played until the 64th when Jesus Ibarra came in. Congrats, Jesus, on getting his debut. And Marcus played until the 86th, and Lenny got that last little bit to bring in a little extra physical presence there at the end. And I saw Lenny getting into it with about 6 different players, and all of them deserved it. It was great. Shout out Lenny. I love that. And Lenny's like the sweetest guy on the field. It seems like he seems to always be like helping people up, and I don't know. He just seems like a good demeanor on the field. But then when I saw like all those players getting into it with him, I was like, ooh.
He throws a nice shoulder.
Yeah, he does, and he's just he's huge.
Yeah, he's big.
Like he's big and he's fast and he's strong and he's a good player, and like he's the exact opposite, like physically, of Marcus. Like Marcus is like a regular forward who's extremely technical, and Lenny is also like a good forward and reasonably technical, but he's such an athlete that those players have to be like, oh, we gotta, we've been chasing Marcus around all game. Oh no, now we have a guy that like can post up or push us around or whatever else. And I love that. Goals came from Aiden Bowers in the 31st with an assist from Alex McGrath.
But happy birthday to Aiden Bowers. That was a goal on his birthday.
Well, and we can talk more about exactly how that goal came about, but he absolutely posterized that guy.
That was great.
Dunked on him. Marcus Nagelstad in the 37th, unassisted. I'm sure Matthew would like to talk about that one. And Beto Alvarenga, maybe the best goal of the game on an assist from Alex McGrath as well in the 45th. Just filthy, filthy strike. Okay, Matthew, shall we go from the first goal, the Aiden Bowers goal?
Do whatever you want.
All right, Jay, how were you feeling when that goal went in?
I was feeling really good. I mean, we were sort of controlling the run of play. We kind of have had that's kind of been a theme for us these past 2 games. And when that one finally went in, it seemed like we were sort of playing ahead of ourselves a little bit. And just
what do you mean ahead of ourselves?
Well, just like sometimes we anticipate so well, and that our ball movement plays so much that we get the ball forward either just a little too early to where like Marcus isn't set up technically in the box, like take a shot or for one of us to create a decent chance on goal.
100%.
And that's because teams like the LA Force and other teams are setting up to play against us that way to force us into that kind of style. So once Aiden or anybody scores that first goal, it's like this unlocked achievement for us going, well done. Now, not only have you gone up 1-0, you've changed the other team's strategy entirely. And so that's always I love having that possession, and then it's like letting the dam loose. It's like the dam works because it's calculated with certain math. Mm-hmm. But once you let a little bit of water go through, well, the dam then has to reconfigure and try and get in. It's just going to break and all the water's going to come.
100%. I'm not even going to add anything to that because I could not agree more. What I will say is that we were talking about in the supporter section, Sean Weldon, shout out, was talking about how he does, and he said this in a YouTube comment, and I'm just going to abbreviate our conversation because he and I have already had a conversation about it, but he doesn't always enjoy if we go short. And I think that the genesis of that, and I'm going to put some words in his mouth and he can obviously correct in the comments, but I think we both agree on this. Sometimes it's not the going short that's so frustrating, though that is frustrating sometimes. The byproduct is sometimes we do the exact same play over and over short.
Yeah, sure.
But what I want to point out here is that because we go short so often, it's not always perfect, and we should maybe vary up the plays a little bit more. And I think you've seen that, spoiler alert, in the past few games. But I do think that going short means that when we do go long and we kind of mix it up, people are not able to defend it by packing the box. So you got to have 2 defenders out to cut that short ball, or 3 defenders cheating out, and that's one of the reasons Aiden's able to be less marked. He's not unmarked because he dunks on that guy, but he's less marked at the back post with that great ball in.
He does dunk on that guy.
It's so good, man. And they're complaining after the goal, oh, he was touching me. And it's like, if you watch the replay, he goes straight up, and he's just 3 feet over his head, so it looks like he, fouled him. But it's so good. Matthew, do you have anything to add for that goal?
I think with the long corner from that particular play, we've been going long a lot more often from the left corner because you get the advantage of having Alex McGrath on the in-swinger.
Good point.
Yeah. And even in that game, there have been multiple corners before the one we actually ended up scoring on that went long.
Well, and you have a short keeper as well.
Yeah. Gomez is relatively short compared to some other keepers.
He's like 5'6".
His reflexes are among the best in the league. So yeah, like when you have a height advantage, you want to play a little bit long, a little bit more often.
Well,
I thought we did that to really good effect. There's a thing with Aiden Bowers though. he's marked on. Hey,
I think the postman's here.
Bowers is marked every single time. It's the same player on him.
Hold on a second.
But Bowers.
Hold on a second, Matthew. Hold on.
Toby.
Puppies, relax.
Thanks. Come on.
That's gonna be a non-edit right there. Keep going, Matthew.
Well, I just think that Bowers is marked on all of these corners by the same guy. The LA clearly has marking instructions for who's going to guard who on these set plays. Every team does this as a part of pregame prep.
Hold on, Matthew. I think the postman might literally be here.
We're not this. None of this needs to be edited. This is
just how recording in this podcast room goes. If the postman shows up, they freak out. Keep going with Aiden Bowers.
So I was just going to say, what Bowers does though is incredibly intelligent, where he's standing at pretty much on the back post. His man's marking him right there, and then just before McGrath starts to make his move on the corner, he backs up, takes a few steps back, and that allows him to get a running start once he sees the trajectory of the ball. So he's able to get a running start, whereas his marker is just trying to go up and just straight up in the air from a standing still. And obviously, especially for this isn't basketball. For soccer guys, the running start helps a lot. And Bowers is able to elevate so much higher. And that's what leads to the dunk.
Yeah, it's a very good point. And like you said, we've played that particular long ball to Aiden, who sometimes he heads it back in. In fact, I think he had the assist on the very first goal of the season, right? Or one of the first headers of the season back across. Am I remembering that correctly?
It was a header back across against away to Albion.
Yeah, but that was his header back across, right?
Yes.
And so that's something that is not just, for better or for worse, this team has drawn up plays. And I'm not saying it has to go to the exact same player every time, but we have a plan when it comes to set pieces.
Yeah,
we're not
fun.
just slinging it in there. Mm-hmm. And then I think, by the way, I didn't finish the Sean thing. I think Sean and I both agree, and I think he would agree that, as long as you get dangerous chances off of corners, whether it's short or long, we're feeling good about it. And that one felt great because we went short a little bit, we went long a little bit, and I feel like the short opened up the long. But yeah, to get that long ball to Aiden and it not be just a header back in the box, but like you said, just it'd be a dunk straight up. So good.
And you mentioned the every now and then going for the long one, even though we go short and have little set pieces, and that just keeps it. The variability alive and less predictable,
Exactly. I think if you went back and tallied, my gut says we're probably going long about 30 or 40% of the time, somewhere in there, which is much more than last year, by the way, when we didn't have a height advantage. And now that we have Prepelica, it's the biggest change, and his enormous ass in there, it is really tough for teams to defend him. And so we're just going long more often, and I think we are simply a better team on set pieces, even though we weren't bad on set pieces last year.
We're definitely trying to go long more from the left, but still reserve the right side for short corners.
Yep.
Because it gives you the option of Mwape's in-swinger if we lay it off to him, or the bounce back to Richard, and then one of the runners coming in, usually McGrath. Kind of like the Greg Stratton Syracuse goal play from.
Yes.
There's a little bit of variance there, but the Mwape option is, and we saw that in one of the games in the past couple of weeks. We saw that play was expected to go all the way through to McGrath, and Richard bumped it shorter to Mwape, who sent in a ball. I think it ended up leading to, I think it was in the Michigan Stars game, in a sequence where we had 4 corners in a row.
I wasn't going to actually mention exactly what happened on that goal, just in case somebody smart listens to this podcast, but they've changed up the routine a little bit on that Richard pass. I'll just put it that way.
Next goal.
Marcus Nagelstad, unassisted, 37th minute. I'm just going to say, and I think
this is grown man shit.
This is grown man shit. First of all, it's Marcus's left foot. Second of all, he does what strikers do, and he's like, I'm not passing this.
Yep.
And he just, but he has, I think Matthew will agree with this, he has 2 guys that he should pass it to. But also, it doesn't matter as long as you score. And
that's what
he's got 2 open guys, and it just doesn't matter. He just scores. And he goes near post, and
it's a left foot curler.
It's a left foot. And he just,
near post,
it's just so good. It's just one of those, if you give Marcus a little bit of space, he will score. He will shoot, and you can't give him any space. And that defender is a little bit outside of him as opposed to being in front of him, and he can't block the shot, and it's a goal.
This is a goal that comes from transition.
Yep.
I forget exactly what the lead up is, but Mumu gets played into space, And while he won't get credited with the assist here, his ability to just keep the ball close enough to him, the ball gets poked away by an LA Force defender, and it just falls to Marcus, and then Marcus does the rest. Couple dribbles, looks off Juan Louis. He's got Mumu, but probably I have to have eyes in the back of his head to find that one, and he just takes the shot because when in a transition scenario, the defense is just a little bit less set, so a little bit of hip wiggle gives him opens up things and gets him a little bit more space to be able to pick out a spot.
100%. And it's not, again, I was just making a joke about it not being the most high percentage chance because he had space to pass it, but all that matters is he scored, and it was absolutely beautiful. And unassisted is always, not always, but it's usually a fun goal when it's unassisted, because it usually means somebody did something special, and he did something special on that. Matthew, why don't you take us through quickly the Beto Alvarenga goal from Alex McGrath in the 45th?
So this is a fun one. There's a bunch of passes involved. Like, the rhythm is really, really good. We're up 2-0. We're still having the ball. We're still pushing. And this is the goal that broke LA Force entirely. Were they probably getting back in the game at 2-0 down? No, they probably weren't.
But they had a little bit of hope.
This is in stoppage time, by the way, of the first half. This is one of those things. If you played FIFA growing up a lot, this is you always had maybe one of those friends that would just always score in stoppage time. It would piss you off to no end. I was that person. I was always scoring in stoppage time.
Yeah, makes sense.
I was just gonna say
naturally.
It was you.
And this is one of those things. So ball comes in from I think it was from Juan Louis out wide into Marcus or something like that. And a defender and Alex McGrath is running ahead. And I think Marcus tries to play McGrath in. And a defender clearly makes a play on the ball because McGrath is offside at this point, maybe, and it allows him to come back, collect it, and he just waits until Beto kind of falls into this little pocket of space, and he just slips it across to Beto, who does this really nice thing with his hips where he lets the ball run across his body, then takes a touch with it to set it up for the shot, and LA just doesn't close him down well enough, and Beto hits the ball so fucking specially.
Cleanly.
I thought I would never see Beto hit a nicer goal ever.
And then the mission starts.
Then we'll ruin that here in a minute. Yeah.
Beautiful.
But just the way he hits the ball, Brandon Gomez doesn't even move. It's in the bottom corner. It's nasty. It's 3-0, and we're off to the races.
Exactly. It was so good. Jay, when you see a number 9 who plays in the central midfield hit a ball like that, what goes through your head?
Just pure excitement. The best part about that goal for me was just a little while after that, I took part in the crossbar challenge.
Yes, you did.
And I came really close to hitting it.
Did you hear me yell too much golf?
Oh no, I didn't.
I was like, too much golf.
That's true.
No, I might have yelled too much hockey. I think I might have yelled too much. Anyway, I yelled something mean to you, but I couldn't tell you if you heard me.
We were on the we were down low by the stairs, kind of near the locker rooms, and I got to see it from that angle.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So I saw the whip in it, kind of the way it was. It kind of, because it had this nice little dip on it. It was freaking sweet, man. I loved it.
Shout out to Jay Cayley, who's I think it's him. It could be somebody. I think it's him who's shooting all those little recaps that we're getting after games with from the field level.
It's it's a combination. It's him and then another guy, and I'm gonna butcher his name. Maybe I think it's Sam. I'll look up his Instagram and say it in a little bit because the guy knows what he's doing.
So whoever's doing it, and shout out to both of them. I want to give credit there. It's sweet. After every game, if you guys haven't seen it, if you go on the YouTube, and it's usually on Instagram as well. I think it's on YouTube. Anyway, it exists within the social media realm of CFC. You can catch different views of all the goals that you didn't see on the broadcast, and then if you were live in stadium, you didn't see them at those angles either. So you can catch replays from the broadcast angles, which is good, and then you can get replays from all these cool sideline or goal side, or
what you're
angles.
seeing. What you're used to seeing, big teams put out on their media. We're doing such a good job. Darrell
exactly.
And everybody are
shout out to Darrell. Shout out to everybody
everybody's killing it,
doing unbelievable work.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I would like to go straight to Michigan Stars. Are you guys good with that?
Yeah.
No, briefly, I want to talk about the second half because what it allowed us to do. Number one, the introduction and debut for Jesus Ibarra, who I think immediately impressed.
Good point.
With his foot skills and how in his combination play. I thought the second half wasn't wasn't awesome. I think we probably should have had another goal, and I think we let them into the game a little bit more. I think Rod even talked about that after the match, that we let LA back in the game a little bit too much. Now, granted, we did well enough. Jean had a great game to make sure that the sheets were still clean, but I think when you have that much control, you don't necessarily want to let off a lot. Although up 3-0, it's not crazy to think that there is going to be a little bit of a let off. So I just want to say that, like, that was up until that point, those were the best 45 minutes we had played all season, and it wasn't particularly close. But have we had a full 90-minute game yet? I would argue no. But
yes,
there's still time.
You are quick.
Let's move on.
You are quick to always rain on the parade when we play well.
Let's move on to the Michigan Stars.
I mean, it feels like we're in another podcast. We absolutely
or a therapy session.
Or a therapy session. Yeah, this is his soccer therapy. All right, the Michigan Stars. By the way, I like how we managed the game in the second half. I don't think we were perfect, but I'm not going to dwell on any of that because I think we managed it perfectly fine. So Michigan Stars is a 2-0 win. Starts with Jean-Antoine, Colin Stripling, Anatoly Prepelica is back in central defense. Aiden Bowers and Joseph Perez, Richard Dixon. So we're back with our back six back intact. Again, Alex McGrath and Beto, and honestly, you're going to have to pry this lineup spot from Beto Alvarenga with from his cold dead hands if he keeps playing like this, because he is just on another level. That'll shout out to my one of my three things later on. And then Mumu at right wing. Juan Luis comes in for him in the 72nd. Jesus Ibarra gets his first start. Shout out Jesus. Damian comes in for him in the 82nd. Marcus up top, of course. Lenny coming in the 82nd. And I will also say Beto subbed out for Luis in the 72nd. And Alex McGrath came out for Sebastian Capozzucci. That's midfielder Sebastian Capozzucci in the 88th. So we made 5 subs. And that was the terrifying part at the end that I didn't even notice. But Matthew pointed out later is when Jean went down hurt at the end. We didn't have any more moments or any more subs. So that was terrifying. All right, we had 2 goals in this game. Marcus Nagel said a penalty earned by Jesus Ibarra. And by the way, I don't know if he goes by Jesus. I'm sorry. I haven't spoken with him yet, but I'm going to go by Jesus as long as it's there. And Beto on the beautiful strike that Matthew mentioned earlier. I'm going to start with you, Jay. We got to see Jesus from the opening whistle this time. How are we feeling about that? What was your impressions?
This is a dog world.
Mixie.
Come on. I really liked the way Jesus played. It was fun watching him and JP kind of like control. I mean, we kind of controlled every part of the pitch on this game, but it was really fun watching them control the left side, really exploit that channel and create some attacking opportunities. But my favorite part of the entire game that was not a goal was Mumu just absolutely eviscerating people on the right side touchline and near the box and making people fall over. I forget his name, but number 3 for the Michigan Stars just got absolutely waxed and embarrassed. Nothing came of those chances, but obviously we were mounting pressure and the goals were going to come. But yeah. That penalty was deserved, and then I'm not going to talk about the other goal yet because I'm sure we'll dive more into it.
So that penalty, I'll start with the penalty. That comes from something we haven't seen until the past few games. Let me back up a tiny bit more. The beginning of this season, we had wingers, in Taylor Gray in particular, that were beating somebody, and Mumu right at the beginning, who were just beating players. And when they would beat their man, we were able to create magic out of that. And then once Taylor got hurt and Mumu got injured, we really didn't have that same level of beat a guy. And look, Damian got injured. This is Juan Luis' first season here, and he's been at kind of up and down performances, some really good ones and some less good ones. And so I think the winger play has just been inconsistent. And that's when you have 2 wingers who play like this in this game with Ibarra and Mumu just eviscerating their counterpart defensively, we are going to be really, 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 really tough to beat. And I don't know how long this form lasts because it's a short period of time, right? And I'm hopeful it lasts forever, but I'm not going to sit here and bet on it. Like, we may have to make improvements or whatever, but it certainly looks like we have reached a new gear especially with our wing play. And we'll definitely dive more into that in some of our in our particulars. All right, Matthew. Now that we've talked how we felt that first one, which comes from Jesus Ibarra just eviscerating a guy and getting fouled in the box, and then Marcus sending what's that fuck's name? Makruva the wrong way. How are you feeling, Matthew?
Matt, you have to use the word eviscerated too.
Yeah, you must. Eviscerated is the word of this podcast.
So, CFC versus Michigan Stars. You know that we're going to have possession. You know that they're going to let us have possession. They want to make things difficult. They want to compress lines. But this is not the same Michigan Stars team that they had last year. That had a really, really great ability to compress lines even in midfield. And like this team, for whatever reason, they did this against Savannah. It wasn't just us. They retreated all the way back and bunkered against Savannah, a team that likes to have the ball but is pretty shit with the ball. They made Savannah look like savants in possession. Now, Michigan does believe they can always retreat into their shell and wait for you to make a mistake with the ball, and then they counter like crazy and they play for set pieces and yada yada yada. But the fundamental foundation when Michigan creates a shell is the ball has to go out wide, and then they believe in their defenders and their goalkeeper to take care of crosses that come in.
Yeah.
One of the most important bits of that is that those crosses need to come in the air. They believe, because they think their physical abilities in the air, along with the goalkeeper, will help reduce danger. If they want the outside back to always like keep their man in front and force them to go over the top.
Yeah, and I will
the critical thing in all of this is that the outside backs cannot get beat by the winger. And that's why this game had always shaped up that could have been interesting, because if our wingers could not beat anybody and their outside backs could always keep the winger in front, it would be another frustrating CFC Michigan Stars game. What happened is Jesus Ibarra and Mumu Mwape absolutely went ballistic, eviscerating defenders.
Yeah,
left
there we
and
go.
right. And sometimes on more than one play. Like Mumu had Chawblood beat a couple of times and still cut it back just to make him fall on his ass. That's fun.
Oh, he cut him back so hard that he did get he just fell.
Yeah, he straight up fell.
Which was
awesome.
It was fantastic stuff. But it was when you force a team into a shell and you provide numbers, and we'll talk about patience a little bit more. When you provide the numbers in there, you can just bring wave and wave and wave after pressure, and eventually also with a great play in the case of Jesus Ibarra, just makes a move, and an offender thought he was dealing with a lesser player, sticks a leg out, and over he goes, and it's a penalty, and it's 1-0 because it's Marcus.
Yeah, it was so good. Yeah, I love that. I love that. That what's the right word?
Eviscerating.
That evisceration. The summary that you just gave, I completely agree with. Let's go on to the second goal. So I'm going to let Jay give his opinion first, and then I'm going to give mine, and then Matthew, I'm going to let you finish up because I know you've got takes on this one. Jay, that second goal, that Beto cutback.
Was it 14 passes beforehand? So
it was 14.
14. So a great spell of possession, which we have had. We had. I mean, the majority of the game. I never went back and looked at any of the possession percentage, but I'm guessing it's a funny number. But there were 14 passes, just us. We had a quick chance right outside the box. We turn around, recycled. Ball goes in. I can't remember who passes it to Beto. Was it
Ibarra?
Was it? Yeah, I was going to say it was Ibarra. And the ball was just weighted, rolling perfectly at him for him to just. You told me too much golf. This was perfect golf because it wasn't power. It was placement, and it would the way the ball curled. Just, I mean, any goalkeeper is going to look at it and be confused. So the way it kind of we have this 14, we have the spell of possession, 14 passes, bing, ding, 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 comes around, takes a step over or two, ball comes in, and it sails in, and it's like, are we playing fourth graders? And I love comparing Michigan Stars to fourth graders because they're such a annoying team to have to freaking play.
Well, their emotional intelligence is about the same as most fourth graders.
Yeah. But yes,
Look, we had a little
that
bit
goal was
more-
awesome.
We had a little bit more space, especially in the middle of the field. I'm noting 8.5 minutes for us here. We had a little bit more space in the middle of the field. I thought a lot of that was, again, patience, the ability to sit in, to find gaps, to wait until Michigan gave us a gap and then filled that space. But one thing that also matters is you need some exceptional play sometimes.
Yep.
And
somebody find that path through.
In this moment, like, this is a great shot. I mean, like, a great shot. And it's just like one of those moments of magic that you need to win games convincingly. And I'm telling you, another stoppage time goal. And I would have loved to have been in Michigan's. I would have loved to have been in Michigan's locker room at halftime. Would have loved it.
Well, I can
only imagine what happened in there.
I can tell you that the Michigan Stars bench was pretty up for this. We got shushed.
Oh, dang it! I was going to bring it up.
Oh, okay. We got shushed.
No. You got to keep going.
We got shushed by their coach.
So good. Fuck that guy.
How close were you? Did you see it happen?
Oh, I watched it happen because as soon as they got the penalty awarded, he kind of like ran out and did like a fist pump thing, and I was just kind of like, I was all the way at the top, and I saw it, and then I saw him turn around and shush, and I was like, oh my gosh, he just did that. What a loser.
I don't often lose my cool in the section, but I lost it. I came running down as soon as Jean saved that, and I may have asked him many times in many different ways with many different versions of the F word, who needed to shut up now. Or shush now, and then I'm not necessarily proud of it, but I'm also not at all sorry. And I think he got it the rest of the game. He also flipped us off, which means we were definitely living in his head. And he was talking to us during the game, pointing at his championship patch, saying that we'll never have one of those. So that was adorable.
Well, Ennis also needs to update his resume because the Stars are dead. So
yeah, I told him he wasn't gonna have a team next year, so it was whatever. And then we had the Stewie Griffin reincarnated in a fat old man as the other coach, who needs to stop sliding into supporters' DMs because it's gross. You're old and they're young. It's not like actually wrong, but it's gross. But anyway, we had a good back and forth with their bench, and including them videotaping us and flipping us off and all sorts of fun stuff because the Michigan Stars are a classy bunch. I will say that cut back in the box and the Beto finish was one of those where you go, that's just so unsavable. If we create that type of chance and we can have that type of finish, I mean, we're just going to be so hard to beat. And look, they had one good scoring chance. It was a penalty on to be fair, an error from us, and that error didn't lead to something because as has been the case with this whole season, our defense has played really well as a unit and really well individually. So Jean needs to come up big there. He comes up big there. A defender needs to make a big play. They make a big play. I mean, this defense is something really, really special. And man, I'm really, really, really happy about it.
Jean made that save on that PK, but that wasn't the only brilliant save. I think because later,
did he have another save?
Later on they had one good take, I believe. I came down to the other side of the field and it was either that or just watching him soar over people to jump and get the ball and going, dude, the Michigan Stars play big guys. That's their thing. They play tall, lanky fucks. And John Antoine is dunking over them, grabbing these balls. I'm just like, it's like we've said in the past, there's no disrespect to anybody, but from a physical standpoint of a goalkeeper.
We've never had a goalkeeper that kind of physical freak. I bet you he can easily dunk with two hands. Easily.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Just like he just flies, man. He looks like he's going to get rebounds. Poor Mix. His little feet are so red from allergies. Should we just go straight into our... Okay, I want to go to a talking point first, then straight into our key takeaways as we have about, I think, 4.5 minutes left.
Let's go.
We might want to see if you can bounce me off and then bring me back on if there's too much time. But let's try to blast through these and see what we do.
I'm going to blast through some talking points, and I want to leave this open-ended. So we have 12 games played, 3 goals conceded, 5 in total, including the Open Cup. Is this currently the best defensive season of CFC all time? I'm leaving that open because I don't want to say... I shouldn't have said currently. I'm going to leave that open because there's time left, and we had a few more games overall, I think, in some other seasons. But It's interesting.
That's an interesting end of season topic.
It's going to be an interesting, 22 goals scored in 12 games in the league, 27 in 14, including the Open Cup. Also interesting. Also very interesting. Okay, Matthew, I'm going to just jump straight into your 3 key takeaways. See if you can blast through.
Is this from both games?
Yes.
Yes, this is from both games.
come on.
And if we run out of time on the Zoom, then you can just kick me off and I'll be done. It'll be fine.
Deal.
So let's do this. Key takeaway number 1: holy patience, Batman. I'm telling you, this team. There's a time to play long. There's a time to play a big diagonal. There's a time to switch the field. There's a time for a lot of things. But this team is built on being patient, accepting that the defense is gonna put numbers behind the ball, is gonna make it difficult for you, is gonna bunker in, and Rod from the beginning has been preaching: be patient, be patient, be patient. Let them make the mistake, and then have a moment of magic of individual brilliant play, and go from there. And we've seen this now in the LA and the Michigan games. Incredibly patient build up has led then to patience and knowing when to attack and when to wait for numbers. And it's been absolutely massive. Number 2, personnel is still policy. Mwape has leveled up. He's just a different player than he was when he was coming back from some injury issues.
Yep.
Juan Luis has been better.
Yep.
Jesus' addition has been massive, absolutely massive. I think everyone's seen that already now.
Without a doubt.
And if this team can get Taylor Gray back, holy fucking shit, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, this is something I brought up that you fought me valiantly on, and you were wrong, because defending starts from the front. And one of the ways that you do this is you have patience and buildup, allows more numbers forward. More numbers forward helps win back the ball quicker and higher up the field, which leads to bigger and better chances, and bigger and better chances lead to more goals.
You're lucky we only have 2 minutes left on this Zoom.
The penalty, 1.5 minutes for me. The penalty comes from us winning the ball high up the field. It allows us to get the little bit extra space to get Jesus a little bit closer with Michigan's defense not quite set. It's probably one of the reasons why the right back lashes out in that challenge, because it's a little bit more of a desperate moment. There's a little less cover. I think Marcus's goal is in against LA Force is in the same kind of vein. That's us winning the ball around midfield and with LA pushing up a little bit. It's just really, really good, really good play. It's more of it. In a lot of these other games, I think we've seen the team create a little bit, and this is just more sustained pressure, and teams are cracking, especially towards the end of the half. And I think that bodes really well for us, assuming we can keep this up and keep the pressure on and not rest on our laurels and continue to get better.
Yeah, I agree with all of those things. I have some serious arguments with you on number 3, but we don't have time for that because you're going to run out of time on your Zoom. So actually, let's just say goodbye to you right now, Matthew. I love you. I can't wait to yell at you in person.
Matt.
And hurry back so that we can review the final women's game of the season and have fun at your bachelor party. Got him right in there. I love that guy, but I'm going to eviscerate him. Yes, I just coined myself when he comes back, because he's misconstruing what I said, and also he's wrong because he was blaming the defense for not being good enough, and the offense has to be better for the defense to do the thing that he was complaining about. But anyway,
you're not going to win your argument.
No, we're going to argue.
It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong.
Oh, but we're going to argue.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be entertaining.
So I'm going to go straight into my 3 here and then leave you for last. Jay, are you cool with that?
Yeah, totally.
So his number 1 is actually very similar to my number 1, not unsurprising. The offense has really found a new gear, and that is through patience. It is through. We agree exactly on how it's happened, not like who was to blame. So with the offense being and the winger play being better, this is actually my number 1 and number 2. So the first one is the offense found a new gear in the past 3 wins, not really including the draw against Club de Lyon where we were not that great. The patience and pressure demonstrated is a whole new thing. That bing, bing, bing 14 pass thing doesn't happen. And those 5 straight corners or 4 straight corners, whatever we had, don't happen 5 games ago because we just didn't have that new gear yet. And that gear comes, for my number 2, from winger play. The winger play has been just better, which Matt also mentioned. Getting Damian healthy, getting Juan Louis, a little bit of more time in the system, and a chance to come off the bench, not have to start every game, which is good for a guy that was supposed to learn and hasn't been in the system that long. And then getting Ibarra, all of those things, and Mumu just getting back from injury, all of those things have made our winger play better. And something I've complained about this year, and I think the past 3 games we've seen it, is that we've stopped going, and you said this perfectly at the beginning, we've stopped getting one player isolated way up front all alone. So if you have one winger going to beat somebody and you have no striker or no other winger, or no midfielder.
That's when I was referring to playing ahead of ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah. And you defined that perfectly. So we weren't doing that, or we weren't doing it well, rather. We were playing too far ahead. And now we are getting those numbers. We're getting the triangles. We're rondoing through people. And then Beto turning into like the number 9 we didn't know we had or needed, alongside of Marcus. You still have 99 and a 9 playing there. Like, that pressure offensively is just a different thing, and it comes from the wingers, and it comes from Beto really leveling up, which is my third thing. Beto's playing like a man possessed right now, and man, he's been such a big difference maker because he's another player. We already had Alex McGrath coming out of midfield and getting shots, but now that you add Beto coming out, getting shots and scoring goals, he has the 2 shots that lead to goals in the that aren't goals himself, but lead to goals in the Maryland game away. And then you have the shot that is a goal and a shot that is a goal in the last 2 games. And it's fantastic. Those are my 3 things. And I'll also have a little bonus here. The defense is still really not giving up anything. I'm praising the offense on those first 3, but the defense is still really, really good. And the press that is happening is a function of the offense getting better and doing a better job so that the defense can press and can provide that pressure. But man, that back 6 is just, even taking out who's been the Prepelica, who's been the sticking out guy, like the guy who's really stuck out this year because he's enormous and he's good and he's made all these good plays. Took him out, put in Sebastian, and we really didn't miss a beat, which just shows you how well that unit is playing together.
Absolutely. It's funny because my very first one is interchangeability. I'd like to see pieces change here and there. Sebastian, having Jesus come in, and then you'll even through subs later in the game. I do love seeing added pieces not change the way that the team plays.
For sure,
they're clicking on all cylinders, whether Juan Louis or Mumu or Jesus or whoever's out on the wings. It seems like Rod has these like backup chess pieces that are the exact same rook that he's taken out. You know what I mean? So it's really good to see interchangeability. My number 2 is it's really hard to put a spotlight on a goalkeeper when they're not tested because the defense and the rest of the team is playing so well. But when it comes time to be tested, you can't be tested any more than in a penalty. Like an exact 100%. One-on-one matchup. And John Antoine absolutely rose to the occasion and was an absolute boss and stopped that.
Brick wall.
So he's my number 2. Just seeing that, I know it's like I said, it's hard to praise, but it's just I say it all the time. It's just so nice to look back there and see that guy, playing on our team, wearing our shirt.
100%.
And then from this is more of a lighthearted kind of like not directly soccer tactic take, but everything's just fun right now, man. I think everything's more fun when you're winning, right? Like that's for sure. But it's just the style of play. And it's everything. I can't really even pinpoint it. I'm loving going to the games, love watching the guys play, love the camaraderie between all the boys on the pitch. Like it's just awesome and fun to see. Now my 4th point that I wish I could have brought up while Matt was here is a bit of a FU to Matt and slightly to you too, but not really.
All right.
But it's not really an FU at all, actually. I just wanted to say that. I'm making it way more dramatic. But how did it feel on Saturday night to watch the other team have zero offensive strategy and have to fucking chuck long throw-ins into the box and watch them fail and go, thank God that's not us anymore. Damn it. Because I hate long throws, only like I have elaborated in the past, when it's your only mode of offensive strategy.
Have you noticed we're doing long throws this year now?
Yeah, dude, do them all you want if you're
If they're dangerous.
Or do them all the time if you're on that part and you have the guy who can do it. It's just always when you're washing out of bounds and then you're doing it. I just noticed that like 3 or 4 times, and I was like, huh. All their offensive chances have come off of these freaking putrid, festering long throws.
And I love misrepresenting your hatred of long throws.
I know. That's what makes it funny.
When you're not here.
Yeah. I double click the +15 whenever you guys do that.
I would say that the vibes are immaculate.
Yeah, immaculate's a good word.
And I just, let's continue this. Like, and we seem to be like still cresting that mountain. We don't seem to be at the top of the mountain yet. And hopefully we keep doing that incline, doing that thing. All right, let's change gears here a little bit. You said you had you wanted to you had a little surprise for me on the podcast.
Yeah. And I wish Matt was here because Matt was there the day I got it too. So first off, you don't know this, but shout out to my wife Rachel. She's never going to listen to this.
Better for her.
Yeah,
she's smarter than the rest of us.
She got a promotion,
Ooh.
like a big promotion at work. She deserves it, and it's awesome. So
shout out.
That is going to move her to working from home. So with working from home comes redesigning the old podcast studio into her office. Right. So a lot of things are going to leave my house. And the cool part is it's like I'm cleaning out this room. I'm cleaning out, like, we had a good, like, a year and a half to 2 years of memories, like, doing fun podcasts in there, like Caleb Cole's a psychopath,
Peter Fuller stacking cans.
Peter Fuller stacking cans. Reed Farnsley, you know what I'm talking about, Reed.
Little Grand Marnier action.
Yes. But yeah, so the coolest part about cleaning that room out is knowing that even though I'm not here all the time because I'm so stupid busy and whatnot, that you guys have taken this over, ran with it, started doing video. Like the pod is sort of like doing okay, even though I'm not like one of the main pieces anymore, which is so awesome and fun. So being able to bring these things as I clean them out. So I've got 4 gifts. Three of them are kind of the same. One is very sentimental, and then I've got a 4th one coming. I'm just working on it. It's going to take me a little bit longer, but let me get up and get those.
All right, I'm excited. We had so much good stuff in that old podcast studio, the original studio. Okay, I see some framed things. Okay. Mixie, come here, buddy.
So the first one.
Okay.
I'm not saying this on mic, so it's gonna be Mix.
Buddy,
the first one is this. This is probably my favorite.
Oh yeah. I don't know where this is gonna go yet. Maybe
right on the table for now. Yeah. We were framing it up, it looked like that. Okay, so for you guys that have been to my old podcast studio room office thing, that was on the wall. That was the very first thing we purchased as a podcast.
So cool.
So we all put like $5 in because Rachel was at Target and she texted me while we were potting, and I showed it to you, and I was like, should we get this?
Yeah.
So we have the Section 109 thing, and I replaced the batteries, so it lights up.
Yeah. I might put that on the wall. I'll figure it out. I might mount that on the wall.
Somewhere.
Yeah,
it's got to go. Yeah, it's definitely got to go somewhere.
Got to go somewhere.
Number 2 is a poster from the Michigan. Hey, this is nice. From the Michigan Stars game on the March 14th of 2020.
Hell yeah. And so I already have that poster up, but it's not signed. So I can change those out.
This one is signed.
That's signed. Who else is signed by? Is it the whole team?
This is the team in 2020, yeah. So we also have this one, which is New Amsterdam, and RIP.
Oh, that's also signed. Hell yeah.
These are all signed. And then I think
I don't know if you have the Rich. In my old studio, the one I had in my old house, I had that one up too, but none of them are signed. So this is excellent.
So these are all from the episode where we did where we all did the unboxings, remember?
Yes.
And we got all these posters, and then you got them framed, and we put them up.
And then you got them signed at some point, so that's super sweet.
I don't know. I think they came signed
Maybe,
with...
did they come signed?
I think they came signed with that, yeah. So, but I was like, yes, signed. I know you have some empty spots on your wall, but just keep that spot. There's something special coming.
I think I might know what goes there.
I think you do, but let's not say it out loud because it'll be awesome.
So something I've said, and I actually said this on the podcast, but if Summer decides, Juan is now retired. If Summer decides to retire, and I don't know when that's going to be, she's kind of said on the podcast, like, I don't know. I'll probably just play till I can't anymore, and I still can. So we'll see. But I've got a Hernandez jersey, and I want to frame it and get both of them to sign it. I'm not committing to doing that, but that's my thought currently, is that when they're both retired, the Hernandez 10, I might retire and get it signed by both of them and put it somewhere. That's not for sure, because I might change my mind. I might want to keep wearing it, but got the Juan bobblehead. It was funny having Summer here with her husband on the
table
in a bobblehead on the table.
That's hilarious. Yeah, the other one that I have that I think you know what it is, but we won't tell supporters.
Yeah.
It is. I'm in the process of making a road trip to get that one signed, and then
oh hell yeah,
it basically signifies one of the greatest goals ever scored.
Yes.
in a CFC jersey. So.
Yes. Hell yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Jay. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I will find a good spot to mount those. I did this wall. I can do this wall a little different. I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I'll figure it out. And also, I can also start mounting stuff that's not like I have this empty wall over here that won't be on video, but it will add to the ambiance of
course.
people coming in.
And who knows? It may be on video one day. You have your aspirations for making this into a video podcast studio, and my field of work, I think we're going to be able to really come up with something cool soon.
Well, and something that listeners probably don't know is that when I have a video question, obviously I'm calling you, and I'm calling the guys from Super Chief. Like those are the
shout out Johnny
who came and helped me set up some of the lighting, and maybe we'll do a reel at some point, and show kind of the studio real quick. But basically, I have a question I have to ask. So I remember calling Jay and being like, how do you edit on DaVinci? And he's helped me set colors and a million different things. So it's not like you're not involved at all. You're just busy and less involved on the front end. Yeah. But hopefully we can get a few more of these afternoon pods going. And since we're starting to do more interviews again, and getting back into that, I think we'll be able to make this noon time slot maybe work a little more often, hopefully. But,
oh, dude, and one thing I haven't said, but I'll totally agree to it. I just forgot to respond in the group text message the other day. I'm totally down to do a CFC boat day.
Hell yeah!
You and I both being boat owners, we need to head that unit and figure that.
Well,
day
there's a certain former player and a certain front office member who I won't. I don't know if it's public that they both have boats, but they both have boats too. So I think we'll get a group chat going here in the next little while and get a CFC boat day out at honestly Nickajack, because I don't have a trailer anymore for my boat.
Well, dude, you can take it all the way up through downtown.
That's true. I could take it through the locks. We'll figure out when to do it and how to do it. But
this podcast is off the rails.
This podcast has never been on the rails, Jay. As soon as you leave, Matthew and I take it completely off the rails. Listeners, thank you for listening. Viewers, thank you for watching. We will catch up with you soon to catch up on the missing women's game, and there will be another interview dropping on Wednesday that's already been pre-recorded. Thanks, everybody.